So today we start with the direct memory access. So in brief it is also called as DMA. This is very important topic from examination point of view. Direct memory access means it is a special control unit which provide the data transfer directly between the IO device and the main memory without continuous intervention by the processor. So that is the brief definition of DMA. The control unit which performs these transfer is a part of IO device's interface circuit. So whatever the control unit which is used for this data transfer is a part of input output interface circuit. So this control unit is called the DMA controller. So the controller unit which is used for transferring or accessing the memory directly is called as DMA controller. So what the DMA controller will do means DMA controller performs the functions that would be normally carried out by the processor. So whatever the function which is provided by the processor, the same kind of function is provided by DMA controller. So some of them are listed here. So what are they? Let us see one by one. So for each word, it provides the memory address and all the control signals. So for each word it is transferring, so it will provide its address as well as it is going to provide whether it has to read or write. So that is the one of the job of DMA controller. So and then to transfer a block of data, it increments the memory address and keep track of the number of transfer. So here in order to transfer the block of data from the IO device to the memory or from the memory to the IO device, it has to keep track of how many locations it has already transferred and how many remaining to be transferred. So this can be taken care by the DMA controller. That is, to transfer a block of data, it increments the memory address. So it do the operation of a program counter as well as it keep track of the number of transfers. So how many times it has transferred and how many blocks or the number of locations it already transferred. So these things are taken care by this DMA controller. Next, the DMA controller can transfer a block of data from an external device to the processor without any intervention from the processor. So it is nothing but the definition of DMA. So however, the operation of the DMA controller must be under the control of the program executed by the processor. Means the DMA controller is under the control of processor. That is, the processor must initiate the DMA transfer. So in order to transmit the data with the help of DMA controller, it has to be start from the processor and ends at the processor. To initiate the DMA transfer, the processor informs the DMA controller of starting address, the number of words in a block, the direction of transfer, that is IO device to the memory or memory to the IO device, that is whether it is performing the read operation or write operation, and whether it is the data is flowing from IO device to the memory or from the memory to the IO device. These things are initiated by the processor. Okay, so in order to transmit the data, we should know the starting address, and this starting address we are going to get from the processor, and then the number of blocks, how many blocks we are transferring. Once again, this data is given to this DMA controller from the processor, and the direction of transfer is also given from the processor to the DMA controller. So once the DMA controller completes the DMA transfer, it informs the processor by raising an interrupt signal. So once the DMA controller performs its action of transmitting the data, it will inform the processor by sending an interrupt signal. So here is a diagram which shows how we are using the system bus and the DMA controller. So here is a system bus So this is a system bus. To this system bus, different units of computer, that is processor, main memory, and then input output devices like printer and keyboard are connected. So to this, even the DMA controller, here we can see two type of DMA controller. So one is connected to disk and another one is connected to network interface. So for different type of devices, we are using different DMA controller. Okay, so DMA controller connects a high-speed network to the computer bus. So that is, high-speed network is connected to the system bus with the DMA controller in between. Disk controller, which control two disks, is also has a DMA capability. That is, two disks are given here, so and they are connected to the DMA controller. It provides two DMA channel. So it looks it is actually one, but it gives the impression as two DMA channels. So it can perform two independent DMA operations as if each disk has its own DMA controller. So with this, it is going to give us the impression that even though we are having a single DMA controller, it is going to give us the impression that this disk is having one DMA controller and this disk is having another DMA controller. The register to store the memory address, the word count and the status and control informations are duplicated. So whatever the information which are required for transmitting the data, they are taken care by this DMA controller. So that is in short about, so what is DMA controller, and with the help of diagram how we can use this DMA controller. So processor and DMA controller have to use the bus in an interwoven fashion to access the memory. Okay, so means we are having a same memory. The same memory has to be accessed by the processor as well as the DMA controller. So there must be some mechanism so that both cannot get clashed. Okay, so DMA device are given higher priority than the processor to access the bus. Okay, so DMA devices are having higher priority. Among different DMA devices, high priority is given to high-speed peripheral such as disk or graphical display devices. So and then processor originates most memory access cycle on the bus. So DMA controller can be set to steal memory access cycle from the bus. This intervening technique is called as cycle stealing. So means whenever the processor is not using the system bus, then what this DMA controller will do means it will keep on stealing a cycle at a time, and it will do its action, means it will progress its process. So and this technique of stealing the memory cycle from the bus and using it to do its operation is called as cycle stealing. So an alternate approach is the provided DMA controller an exclusive capacity to initiate transfer on the bus and hence exclusive access to the main memory. So this is known as block or burst mode. So means we are having an alternate approach, means instead of sharing everything with the processor, we are having the capability where we can able to transfer the data directly from the DMA, and this type is called as block or burst mode of data transfer. So the next is very important topic, that is bus arbitration. So till now we have seen how the DMA controller and what is DMA all. Okay, so the processor and the DMA controller both need to initiate data transfer on the bus and access main memory. So we are having a same single bus which is used by the processor as well as the DMA controller, and we are having a single common main memory. Again, the DMA controller and the processor, So they use the same thing. Okay, so the device that is allowed to initiate transfer on the bus at a given time is called the bus master. Okay, so what is bus master means? The one which is holding the bus. It can be the device, any device. Any device which holds the bus for transmitting is called as bus master. Okay, so when the current bus master relinquishes its status as the bus master, another device can acquire this status. So once the bus master device, when it releases the bus, the other device can acquire and it can be a bus master. Okay, so the process by which the next device to become a bus master is selected and bus mastership is transferred to it is called bus arbitration. So means the bus master keeps on changing. Okay, sometimes the processor can be a bus master, sometimes DMA controller can be a bus master, sometimes any other device can also be a bus master. So, and why this is going to be the bus master means it is using the bus. That's why it has to play the role of bus master. Okay, and the who becomes the bus master means it is selected by a particular hardware. Okay, so and that is taken care by the thing called as bus arbitration. So what this bus arbitration means, it is a process by which the next device to become the bus master is selected and bus mastership is transferred. Okay, so we are selecting as well as we are transferring it. And this process is called as bus arbitration. So we are having different type of arbitrations. So one is centralized arbitration and another one is distributed arbitration. Centralized arbitration means a single bus arbitrate perform the arbitration. So we are having a single bit arbitrator, so and it is performing the arbitration mechanism. So whereas in distributed arbitration, all device participates in the selection of the next bus master. Okay, so in case of distributed, each and every device takes part in its selection of the next bus master. So whereas in a single bus arbitrator, so this arbitration is done by the processor. So and that is about bus arbitration.